Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our PSPMI's 2021 Holiday Extravaganza. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope we have fun tonight. We would love to see you all in person. However, due to our conditions, as we know, like last year, we have to do this virtually. A lot of us enjoyed last year, and we hope to do the same this year too. So let's get started. Just before we dive into our event today and our keynote today, I had a few disclaimers and announcements to make. This event will be recorded and photo capturing will be used for promotional purposes. So please do not use your video if you do not wish to be included. And also please keep your microphones on mute when you're not talking. And if you must leave the presentation early, please do so quietly. If you have registered for this event and you are a registered chapter member, you will be receiving a 6x9 holiday gift package sent by your primary mailing address on the PMI profile. So if you do not receive it, please do not hesitate to contact membership at pugetsoundpmi.org if you have any questions. Also, we have a keynote today. So if you have any questions regarding the keynote or if you have any technical difficulties in the event, please drop a message in the chat below. We have our moderators who will help you troubleshoot any issues and also answer any questions from the keynote. To get started, it's 6:30 and we have already opened our event. I will go through some more announcements and then we will have Yuda Pratama, chapter's president, address us. And then we'll dive into volunteer recognition and then into our keynote speaker today, who is Hariharan, and he's going to talk about scheduling in the COVID times. And then we'll have some time for Q&A from the keynote. And then we'll dive into a fun activity of Would You Rather. This was a hit last year, so I'm looking forward to it this year as well. And then also stay tuned and be on the call for our raffle. We will have 3 winners. So for a chance to get into the raffle, you will have to stick around. And then we will, of course, close our event and we'll open it up. We kind of like to have an after party or an informal conversation with all our members. So feel free to stick around after 8:30 if you wish to. Let's dive into our chapter announcements. We have a PMO roundtable for PMO dashboards and metrics coming up on the 24th of January, which is a Monday starting 5:30 p.m. PST, and it offers 1.5 videos. It's a virtual event, and for more information about this event, you can go to our website, pugetsoundpmi.org, and register for it. And our next event or Non-for-Profit Alliance is one of our partners, and we've been partnering with them for quite a few years now. We partner with professional organizations and plan joint keynote events and bring speakers from relevant industries to our chapter events. So PNODN is a non-for-profit partner alliance partner with us, and they focus on leadership and organizational development. And PSPMI offers PDUs for these PNODN events. So if you're interested in attending these events and want more information on it, please do visit our website. And also you can email us at npalliance@pugetsoundpmi.org. And our next event is our weekly PSPMI open office hours. We have this every Monday at 7 p.m. So feel free to join us. We love chatting with you guys and connecting with you guys. It's a great opportunity for you to learn more about the chapter and also connect with our chapter's leadership. You could also have one-on-one appointments with us. If you wish to do so, you could contact our VP of Membership, who is Wendy Evans, at membership@pugetsoundpmi.org. And now I am going to hand it over to Yuda, who is our president, to address us.
All right, thank you, Mahisa. It's addressing people as a president is a very, very scary thing to be told that I need to do. So, pardon me. Well, anyway, welcome to our annual virtual holiday extravaganza. It sounded so cool. And if you watched the video early on, you will know that it was cool at one point. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, I don't even know when. But those were great pictures. A lot of pictures was captured by Shoe Events, which is one of our great sponsors, and was very instrumental in capturing everything that used to happen when we used to meet in person. So hopefully soon, very, very soon, we will have that opportunity again. Now, today we will have a lot of activities, but mostly this evening is to celebrate our chapter members and our chapter volunteers. You hear from the keynote, we'll have some activity. We'll try to have fun and some socialization, in front of this Zoom screen. All of you are aware that our chapter is staffed primarily by volunteers and members like you. All the benefits that we're having sometimes is behind the scene is a lot of hard work that goes through into making this event happen. They're all made possible by volunteers and members. So please join us tonight in recognizing our volunteers' contribution and accomplishment. And one more thing is that Mahisa has mentioned is that after this event, Wendy behind the scene is busy mailing out some swag for our holiday. So keep that, watch your mailbox. And if after a while you haven't got some, feel free to send us an email and let us know. We'll make sure that you get them. Again, this is one of our ways to connect with our members and, give back to whatever things that, whatever little things that we can to get more engagement. I also want to point out that our event is attended by less and less people. It's not as energetic as it used to be when it's in person. So, for those of you who are here, I would like to ask to engage your assistance, engage your help into helping us to spread the word for the next event. And that way we will try to get back to the energy that we used to have in our meeting. So that is the entirety of my address, and then hopefully we'll get on to the real thing. So back to you, Mahisa.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yuda. Before we jump into our volunteer recognition, I have a small video from our technology team that I'd like to play for all of us, and then we will dive into volunteer recognition.
All right.
Awesome.
Looks like Jackson over there.
Oh, hi. It's carol singers.
Give him a quid and tell him to bugger off.
That was great, Jackson. If you're on the call,
Wow.
that was amazing.
Good job, Jackson.
And I especially enjoyed the dhanyawad. I'm from India, and dhanyawad means thank you in Hindi. So
Yes,
now
please join us. I'm glad you all enjoyed it.
Thanks, Jackson. Now let's dive into volunteer recognition, and we have another video where we recognize our volunteers.
Hi all, this is Supriya, VP of Communications, and I welcome you all to this event. As you all know that communication is an integral part of any organization. As a part of communications portfolio, we communicate to and for the chapter, which includes but is not limited to sending out emails about the upcoming events, job opportunities, volunteer opportunities, etc. Once again, I welcome you all. Enjoy the event.
Happy holidays and season's greetings. This is Bob Petrino, VP of Operations, and I'm very excited to recognize volunteers for our chapter during our holiday extravaganza. And the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Without further ado, let's talk about the volunteers in the operations portfolio that I want to recognize tonight. Catherine, Kayla, Camilla, and Asma have been an inspiration to me with their dedication and their commitment. They have not given up, even though sometimes the going has been rather rocky. But we're going to work through all the challenges that we have. We're very close putting together a mock database. But again, I congratulate all of these individuals, these 4 ladies, for their hard work and dedication to the chapter. And I also congratulate all the other volunteers from the other portfolios that are being recognized tonight.
I really appreciate and lean on their insight and their presence. They bring value to the programs team, and it's my hope that they see their efforts pay off not only in their own professional lives, but also in the programs team, and that they're giving back more than what they put into. What surprises me about Mahisa is she's quiet and observes everything during the meeting, but then she is a very eloquent presenter and a host when she is asked to be during the virtual events and in person. She's able to transition between the two seamlessly. With Jeff, it's the persistence. It's being willing to get back up there and do production of the slides, move the slides around, mastering the technical aspects of PowerPoint and Zoom, and figuring out how to get aspect and feeds correctly, understanding how to put together and run a stable, coherent presentation.
Hello. Hi, I'm Wendy Evans. It's my honor to serve you as the VP of Membership and Community of Project Management Institute's Puget Sound chapter. I'd like to recognize my team of volunteers. A quick shout out to Heidi Chow, Lydia Amador, Harry Haran, who was our keynote speaker, Ryan Zhang, Imi Mota, David Ely, and our one and only Mahisa Mahim, who is our MC and volunteers with the programs as well. Although there's one person I'd like to recognize, specifically in our membership and community portfolio, a volunteer of the year would be Ryan Zing.
It gives me great pleasure to recognize and appreciate three of my key volunteers from the marketing portfolio: Asmita Kumbar, Shurbi Kalhan, and Catherine Boyd. When I think of these three women, I think of the most inspiring women possible. They are mothers working and taking care of so many other challenges in life, but they carve out time to help out our chapter and our members. Few key things that stand out in them is the work ethic, the curiosity to learn new tools and explore and do their due diligence, and about going above and beyond to making sure that the end result is always something that our members and our portfolio would be proud of. I cannot state enough about the authenticity that comes out when you work amongst these three women. And I am so humbled and grateful for the opportunity to be working with them for the past year and a half and to be with them to learn from them throughout this experience. I'd like to introduce Marketing Rookie of the Year, Akshita. So welcome, Akshita, and we are so happy to have you here with us.
I look forward to meeting everyone in person soon. Have a great holiday and a great Christmas, and be safe. And thank you.
That was great. Yuda, would you like to add some words?
Well, so this is great video. You know, whoever spent all this time to put this together, this is awesome and great idea, great way to get this going. So really, really appreciate all your hard work and thank you very much. All right.
All right. Now let's get into our keynote today. We have Hariharan as with here today. He is a PMP certified project management consultant, and he has demonstrated history of working in the management consulting industries, and he's skilled in project management, process improvement, and business reporting. Additionally, he is proficient in market research, industry analysis, competitive intelligence, and go-to-market research. We are so glad to have you here today, Hari, and we are looking forward to your address on schedule management in these crazy times.
Thank you, Mahisa, and thank you everybody for taking out your precious time to learn about successful schedule management of projects in times of COVID-19. So let's just dive into our discussion for today, and starting off with the agenda. So this will be a very brief and clear presentation where I'll walk you through the essence of why scheduling plays such an important role in the lives of project managers, the challenges that have taken place in the last 2 years since the pandemic has taken a hit on the way we work, and how project managers can respond successfully to these challenges through a case study where I would walk you through, where there's a very simple and efficient schedule compression technique that we adopted in my previous firm, and some final key takeaways. A few disclaimer before we dive into this presentation. The numbers that I presented in the case study are hypothetical and do not represent my previous firm's actual performance. And the presentation might be a little basic because I need to cater to a diverse audience. So we have a couple of poll questions here. So feel free to feed in your inputs so that I can make the presentation as customized as possible.
Yeah, so we are going to get into our first poll now, and I'm going to launch the poll right now. So let's...
So the first poll is, are you aware of project schedule management? Yes, no, never heard of it.
I'm going to give you guys another 10 seconds. Put in your answers. And here we go.
Okay. So I can see 76% people are aware of it, and 24% people are not aware of it, and nobody has mentioned never heard of it. So that's actually a good thing to know. So if we move on to the next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So I'll just give a little brief introduction about schedule management to those 24% people who are not aware of it. So according to the PMI Project Management Book of Knowledge, scheduling is actually one of the three major elements which forms the iron triangle of project management. And the other two elements are scope and cost. And so scope, schedule, and cost, these three actually form together for any project delivery. And usually in a traditional project environment, scope is more or less it's well defined, where customers are not very flexible anymore with with the scope, but they are very flexible with the costs and the timelines. But one of the key changes that have happened even in traditional industries is that nowadays customers have become much more constrained with costs and timelines. So one, like recently I was reading one of these very interesting reports, which was created by PMI, called as the Innovation Imperative. I was reading, there was this one phrase by a program manager from Etihad Airways, who actually mentioned about these challenges that, and he said, and I'm quoting it, that do you want to follow the rhythm of the disrupted, or do you want to reinvent yourself? So like in these recent times, most of the companies are actually following a blue ocean strategy, where a market is discovered where there is very few competition. Moving on. Thank you. So how scheduling has actually changed, like during COVID-19. So these are some of the challenges that I think even our previous generation or the baby boomer generation have also never witnessed. Because right now it's some of the industries are thriving and are growing, but at the same time there are other businesses who don't even want to grow their business. So they're more or less in survival mode. So looking at that scenario, stakeholders have now become more interested in retaining and existing the current processes that exist in their industry, and don't want to reinvent themselves too much. And one of the major things that has happened is there have been initially when the pandemic actually hit in, there was a lot of delays in deliveries of the projects. So because of that, the mindset has actually changed more towards a kind of ambiguous and a very complex and vulnerable and uncertain environment, where it's become very difficult to execute any tasks without taking risks. And there is a lot of high anxiety among stakeholders, and they're more into micromanagement of all the work packages and deliverables. So because of this immense stress of delivering things at such a short time period, uh, there just seems to be no end to this. And teams have to change their way of working so that they are able to deliver the projects at a short period of time. So how do teams really do that? So one of the techniques which I would be talking to you guys today would be more about fast tracking, and I'll go through that process in the case study. So moving on, we have one more poll question coming up.
Yep, we have our next poll, and here we go.
Yeah, so the poll is, what is the most important aspect that project managers should consider while scheduling projects? Is it the sequence of the activities within that work package? Do they decide the right duration estimates for the activity? Or do they become more transparent with their stakeholders or their customers during status reports?
Let's give it another 10 seconds. And I think we have all our participants answered.
Okay, so we can see, wow, this is interesting. So I remember I did this presentation in the global PMI, wherein during that time, the highest number of responses that people gave were be transparent with stakeholders during status reports. But I can see the transition, how people have become more proficient in it and are taking initiative within to make sure that scheduling is done. So this is really interesting to read. Moving on. Yeah. So if we think about it, how do we really make sure that these stakeholders who are putting that immense pressure on the team to deliver a certain request, which was supposed to be delivered 6 months or 8 months, which usually takes 6 or 8 months, but now because of that, the time has been reduced to 2 months. How do you really convince such a stakeholder? One of the things that I have actually tried is that think of the be aware of the worst case scenario and be prepared for that. So one of the things that I realized is remote working forever. So just give them an assurance that if remote working becomes infinite, all the activities that used to exist before things were in person will remain unharmed. So that gives a sense of security, and through that you have to create a secure workplace where usually stakeholders also get very afraid with data breach, and now with nobody in office, maintaining a secured and safe environment for all data to stay confidential is very important. Uh, well, again, another thing would be time management, where stakeholders should really have a realistic impression of your work status. Because if there's a delay, as a project manager, you should never conceal that there is going to be a delay, because that loses trust and credibility of you as a project manager. And last but not the least is work-life harmony. So many of people have actually heard of this term called as work-life balance. But I would like to reinvent it by calling it harmony, because it's really important now more than ever as an individual to adjust to understand and identify your personal and professional life, and adjust to that so that you can create a certain flexibility. Moving on, please. Okay, so finally, the case study. So this was done in my previous firm. So in this, my role during this project was I was a facilitator for all the business enablement teams to support our customers. So when I say business enablement teams, I mean people from the administration or finance or HR who are helping in instilling the business and helping it grow, but are themselves not generating any revenue for the company. So one of the things which we did to make sure that these teams stay in-house is start building a feedback and an improvement framework, so that people who are driving revenue and who need them as their supporting services are not feeling the need to think that, we don't need such people in our company, we can outsource this. So looking at that perspective, we try to create a process improvement framework and generate ideas, or that people used to send it to us, and see how we can develop those ideas and how we can change that idea that was generated into an implementation phase and build a process improvement within the whole firm. So for that particular aspect, we used to have a status report that we used to send it to the leadership, wherein we used to explain how many ideas used to come in and how many ideas were delivered. And it used to be a very simple and straightforward process. But however, when we moved and transitioned to remote working, we were facing a lot of inaccuracies in the numbers, because a lot of idea generations were getting up, and a lot of deliveries were actually going down, which we investigated was most of the ideas were getting delivered, but they were not getting recorded or implemented into our dashboard. So once we had this discussion and communication, we actually changed our methodology, wherein we used to go to each team and ask them, how much do you think you can deliver in a month, any given month? And based on those estimates that they did previously, using those estimates, we were able to create forecasts, and were able to make an idea that, okay, if this particular team usually delivers this much and has delivered this much, so difference, we would be able to understand what is the reason behind that delay, or why, or who do we reach out to at the end of the day. So we created a kind of accountability for the portfolio. I guess I received a question. Should I answer it now, Mahisa, or at the end?
Let's take it at the end.
Okay. So we try to analyze, how many requests were generated and how many were delivered in the beginning. So we created a forecast analysis of that. And again, one of the things which helped us is the teams actually became more accountable to their portfolio. And this was also because of decentralization that we try to build in within our team. Making things under one watch before that was very chaotic, and it didn't give us that flexibility towards that one goal at the end of the day. And this method actually helped us in allocating our resources in a much more optimized way, which I'll explain in the next slide. Okay, so there are like two particular projects that we were working on. So for simplicity, I'm going to keep these project names as P1 and P2. And let's assume we had only two resources within our team to work on these two projects. So we had resource 1 and resource 2. Thinking about that, like before the pandemic, we were not able to allocate our resources, and we were not able to split our work equally. So because we had that abundance of time, so creating that work optimization, that was never a big challenge for us. But now with this new style of working, stakeholders really wanted us to deliver more at less time. So, but if we implement it in the same way like we did before, it would cause a lot of work pressure on the team members, and would create kind of an unhealthy work environment. So how do we really satisfy both the customers and the teams? So one of the things we did was we actually split the time that each team member was working on each of the project. So if one was working on 8 hours on one project every day, we split them into 6 hours in project 1 and 2 hours in project 2. Based upon that, what we were able to see in doing this split is in the first week, we were actually able to increase our status completion of both the projects. And another thing that we observed in the coming weeks were that the productivity has actually increased for the team overall. And in addition to that, team members also expressed a lot of satisfaction. And we used to do a quarterly like a happiness index where we analyze each and every team member's emotions on how they really feel working for the company and working for the team and the project. What we observed in April of 2020 was that our score was 56%. Compared to January, we do every quarterly. So in January, it was 85%. From 85, it went down to 56 in April. And in the next quarter in July, it actually rose to 95% because of this technique. As one of the things which teams really wanted was they wanted to diversify their execution skills and learn more about different projects. And that actually helped them to challenge themselves overall. And many of the people who are aware of scheduling project management over here, they would know this concept as fast tracking of resources. And this is actually one of the best methods, in my opinion, because it helps the whole team, the whole project, to stay within the budget. But at the same time, it requires a lot of planning and executing of communication so that teams are able to take on those new challenges. And at the end of the day, delivery also became at a very quick pace. So finally, moving on. So finally, the key takeaways about all of this. First, it's very important to have communication. So communication is very, very important because since we used to work with each other physically, the non-verbal signs of communication used to be much higher than what it is now. Because of this physical distance that we have, it's really important to have more of a virtual collaboration in the form of teams or weekly retrospectives at the end of a week to understand what went well, what did not go well. Other than that, if we really try to brainstorm our issues and our challenges, one of the main things is the results in that confrontation that we have against each other, that would actually go down. And we would have a very clear communication channel to ensure that we are delivering our projects in the estimated timeline. You have to create a more virtual setup because even if this pandemic is over, and even if companies really want people back, we are actually seeing a very different foreseeable future where people are still choosing to work remotely. So looking at that scenario, we really have to refocus our style of communication and make sure that we are influencing people positively towards the greater goal of the project. Also, one of the things which we have seen in this is that most of the companies are actually able to save the costs and are also able to make the better workflow, like cash flow with this process. So it definitely is really a change in the whole work environment. And I think the last thing would actually be a little bit opposite compared to the first 3 points that I mentioned. But what do I really mean by silent hours? So it actually doesn't mean that you're refraining from communication altogether. But if we communicate all day with each other, how will we really deliver on what we were supposed to do in the first place? So for that, what my team actually did when I was working was we created a silent hour every day so that all teams can get their work done without receiving any form of messages on Zoom or Teams or any email Outlook, or they were not even required to pick up any calls from any team members for that 1 hour. So this actually helped us in not only prioritizing our key responsibilities, but it also helped us in reducing the team stress and with these constant digital calls. And finally, I would say the most important point is, irrespective of a pandemic or not a pandemic, is to have trust, because without trust, nothing is achievable. And I would just like to conclude my presentation and hope you have a wonderful holiday break. And over to Mahisa.
Thanks, Hari. We do have a couple of questions. Bern, would you like to go ahead and ask those to Hari?
Yes, there was one question to slide 18, and there was the question what said that, what does generated mean? And
okay.
Yeah.
So generated would ideally mean any kind of a request that has come in from a customer over to the team, and looking at that particular particular change that has come in, it has actually been put into the system. So generating that particular request ID into the system.
Okay, and as follow up on that, what was the exact difference between the three metrics on the line chart, also slide 18?
Can we go to slide 18, please? Okay. Was it the line chart?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so it's just a different form of representation, but the first chart, which is there above, is actually are actually histograms which mention how many ideas were actually generated and how many were delivered. But the below chart has a line diagram which is again saying the same thing, but there is a dotted line which is mentioned, which talks about the forecast of all the activities that the teams have decided to give.
Okay, thank you. Then there's another question that says, are you able to measure the quantifiable effects of trust and silent hours in terms of data?
That is quite true. We did not actually go through a very quantifiable measurement of analyzing it, but one of the things we were indirectly able to do it was understand how much of delivery was actually being executed in terms of the ideas that have been generated, in terms of the forecast that was being met. So with that, we were able to analyze that. And another thing was definitely our quarterly happiness score index that we used to do. That was also another way to analyze that whether it's really helping the team build that kind of trust.
Okay, thank you. And there's another question. Is this evolution of reliance on the dashboard in the case study pre- and post-pandemic driven by the requirements of working from home and maintaining clear communication?
So I'm actually a little confused. Okay.
Can I repeat that one more time?
Yeah, can you repeat that one more time?
It was a little bit a long question.
Yeah.
Is this evolution of reliance on the dashboard in the case study pre- and post-pandemic driven by the requirements of working from home and maintaining clear communication?
Correct. So obviously every knowledge area of project management is based on communication by the end of the day. Because if you do not give that communication to your teams that this is going to be a change in the activity, so team members would obviously have that resistance that why do you want me to work on another project which resource 2 is in charge of, which I'm not in charge of? Why do I have to support that project? I already am occupied in something. So looking at that mindset, obviously we have to have, as a project manager, we need to be very calm. We need to have a very emotionless approach, but at the same time have a very empathy driven approach, wherein we don't ride our own emotions over them, but we listen to them and try to understand their perspective, and then try to influence them positively towards what is really needed in the business. So obviously scheduling is a technique for sure. It's a very quantifiable technique, but at the end of the day, the drive, the oil of that engine is communication.
Okay, thank you. And these were all questions we had so far.
Oh, that's good.
Good, thank you.
And a lot of people in our audience agree with the silent hours. I agree too. I would love it.
I agree. I agree too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hari. And oops, this is missing. We had it on the first slide, but we will also post it in our chat. Hari's contact details, his email and LinkedIn. So you guys can reach out to him if needed. So Hari's presentation keynote today was worth 0.5 PDUs. And if you have registered for this event and are a PMI member, your PDUs will be directly posted to or reported to PMI. However, if you are not, please be sure to get this number so you can report them yourselves. The number is 20211-21501. And moving on, from here, I would like to hand it off to Dan for our next session, which is a Would You Rather game.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Would You Rather game. So if y'all need to take a quick bio break or go refill your glass and of something appropriate, go right ahead. Otherwise, I am going to be looking at the participants in tonight's game. So this is a repeat of what we did last year, and to glorious acclaim, and I'm going to recite the rules in my own fabulous way. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you rather, some of you who are over the age of 40 might know this as Zobmondo. This is an ice-breaking game, and you can play safe for work variants of this as a way to just kind of break the ice with your team members or at events and whatnot. It's great for getting people to relax, have fun, learn a little about each other. I am your host, Dan, and I will be asking for 3 volunteers from the audience. But if there are no 3 volunteers from the audience, then I am going to select my own from my own team and inflict this on people. And and what I will do is whoever my 3 panelists are, I will ask would you rather questions of. Each panelist will give their response, and then I will pull up a poll, and the audience, that's all of you, gets to vote on which answer you like the most. I will then award an arbitrary and completely meaningless number of points to the panelists, very similar to whose line is it anyways, where the points don't matter, it's all about bragging rights. And then I will move on and to the next question. So with that, I'm going to go here and I am going to ask, do we have 3 volunteers from the audience? Okay, Leah, you're number 1. I just saw you leap up, so you're in. Okay, who else?
Woohoo!
I know. All right. Do I have a number 2 and a number 3?
So, Dan, how about this? Let's give our guests a couple of minutes to think about if they want it or not. In the meanwhile, is it okay if we watch a quick video from our last year's winner for the video from Mike Guetta? It was a great one. And
absolutely, go right ahead. Leah and Lori, you are on deck. We're still going for number 3. Go ahead and run that video, Mahisa. We can go a little off script.
Oops. So, just a little bit of context. If you have not joined us in our last year's holiday party, we had a competition, so to say, and we had our members put in entries of some funny project management tricks and anything that any talent. It was like a talent show. So Mike was the winner for last year, and his video was pretty cool. So let's all watch it together again.
Give me a second while I get my PowerPoint set up. And let's see, Zoom, share my screen. All right, you should be able to see my screen now. Welcome, PMO presentation to Executive Leadership Team. I'm Mike Guetta, Project Manager. Let's get started. Today's agenda is a special video presentation. Please save all questions for after the presentation. Thanks.
The charter, meetings of sponsors, stakeholders, and the project team. Define the ROI, what's in and out of scope, risk constraints, and assumptions now. But how? For you need a project manager right this very moment. Too much work, too few resources, threatening a go live postponement. You need a project manager to schedule emerging meetings, to calculate, track, and rebaseline estimates, capture all the action items in the meeting minutes. So pull out the whiteboard, brainstorm your ideal future state, using principles based on lean, slice, and dice the data. It's time to Six Sigma variation out of your processes now. But how? For projects need a lot of planning, need a lot of communication, need a lot of, let's be frank, babysitting, otherwise crap isn't gonna get done. Come on. Yes, you need certified scrappy, PMP, green belt, scrum master. You need a project manager now. You need a certified project manager now.
Thanks. Hope you enjoyed it.
We need to find a way to make that one go viral.
Okay.
That was great.
Mike would love it if you could get that thing to go viral.
Oh my God, yes. All right, folks, are we ready? All right, with that, I'm going to share my screen. I have my three participants. Okay, when I bring up the poll, folks, this is what you're going to see. Contestant 1 is Leah. Contestant number 2 is Lori, and contestant number 3 is Lucretia. All right, Leah, Lori, and Lucretia, what I'm going to ask you to do, and I'm going to stop sharing so that we can see your faces, your lovely faces, is go ahead and unmute your microphones and go ahead and show your cameras. And we're going to get started with this random question that I have just used on my little dice roller application on my phone because I'm a nerd like that. All right, ladies, would you rather have skin that changes color based on how you feel, or tattoos that magically appear on your skin, depicting everything you did yesterday.
Oh, yikes. Okay, so wait, skin that changes color based on what?
Skin that changes color based on how you feel, or tattoos that magically depict everything that you did yesterday.
Oh, definitely just skin that changes color depending on how I'm feeling.
Okay. All right. And why is that?
I have an aversion to needles, and I already have to deal with needles enough that I can't imagine having my entire body covered in tattoos, what that would entail. And yeah, and I just think that it would be a lot easier to just control myself in terms of like, quote unquote, what I'm feeling.
That's a good answer. Leah, Lori, your responses.
I'm going with the color changing as well. I think people can mostly already read what I'm feeling by my face, so colors are fine.
All right, and Lori?
I'm also going to go with my skin changing color to my feelings because it eliminates the need for anyone to guess what I'm feeling, and I don't have to necessarily explain myself.
That is excellent. And so I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll. All right, folks, who had the best answer?
Can you remind us once again of who contestant number 1, 2, and 3?
I am doing that. Leah is contestant number 1, Lori is contestant number 2, and Lucretia is contestant number 3. I'm going to leave this up for about 30 seconds. Who gave the best answer? And the questions only get more safe from work, yet bizarre from here. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it looks like Lori had the best answer. I think that's fantastic. Okay. So Lori leads the chart with, let's say we're going to go 11 points because Lori took it 1 more than 10 for our first question. Absolutely 11. And if you've ever seen Spinal Tap, you'll know what I'm talking about.
And are we allowed to vote for ourselves, or are we?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, I didn't vote for anyone. See?
Oh my God. Well, you know what? You're going to get your opportunity with this next question. Okay. Ladies, as a project manager, you're going to wish that I just stuck with the silly questions on this one. As a project manager, if you could only choose as a PM to always meet one of the following, which would it be? Schedule, scope, or cost? Again, if you could only choose one as a project manager to always meet no matter what, which would it be? Schedule, scope, or cost? And justify your answer.
I'm going to say scope. That's my number 1. Because I think that's probably what happens more of the time anyway. So maybe clients are more used to that. That's my theory.
Okay. Leah, that's your answer. Lori.
My answer.
I'm going to say schedule because I always find it easy to ask for more money. And and I work on new product development projects, and the scope in the beginning is always ambiguous. So it's forever changing until design freeze.
And Lucretia.
Okay, so I'm throwing myself under the bus here because I have no other choice. I'm not a project manager yet. So
we're assuming that you are.
Exactly, I know. And so I'm like, oh my God, what do I pick?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with cost because I think that I can sell anything to anyone with regards to like promising a lot and trying to deliver that. And so yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that, even though it's probably the worst answer I could give. But
well,
I don't know.
I'm going to relaunch the polls so that everybody can vote. And remember, contestant number 1 is Leah with her vote for scope, Lori with her vote for schedule, and Lucretia with her vote for cost. Who had the best answer? Oh, wow. Lori is blowing it out of the water right now. Leah and Lucretia are just sinking. Oh, we see some back and forth here, but it's starting to stabilize. Lori, you're 2 for 2 now. I mean, this is just amazing.
That's awesome.
All right, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I shall share the results. And Lori wins by a landslide again, 64%. Because Lori likes herself some schedule. All right, very good. Okay, now I'm going to go to my magic dice roller of doom here again.
Oh my God.
I know, it's horrible, isn't it? Okay, oh God. All right, ladies, brace yourselves. You've all been here in this situation before, and so I'm looking forward to your answers on this. All right, Leah, Lori, and Lucretia. Would you rather spend 8 hours sitting silently listening in an annual budgeting meeting,
Oh God.
or 8 hours watching muted, pretentious Swedish art house cinema? Again, for those of you who didn't quite grasp how awful the two choices are, would you rather spend 8 hours sitting silently listening in an annual budgeting meeting, or 8 hours watching muted, pretentious Swedish art house cinema? The floor is yours.
I'm going with muted art house cinema because it reminds me of being like, you know, at a gathering where there are screens everywhere and anything can be playing on those screens, but you could play music, you could do whatever you want alongside of whatever it is that you're watching. So I'm going to go with the art house cinema just because I can do other things alongside it.
Strong answer, Lucretia. I applaud that. Very good. Lori?
Okay, sure. I'm going to go with the art house cinema because I absolutely could not sit silent in a budgetary meeting unless someone put some duct tape over my mouth.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be murderous, right? I mean, like, oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
Not able to relate.
Oh, I think I'd have to go with the Swedish thing also, because I really don't know what it is. So maybe it could, maybe it could be interesting.
Well,
you can eat during it.
You could eat during it, yes. Ingmar Bergman, for those of you who know who he is. Ingmar Bergman was kind of the, if any of you have ever seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which is a total blast from the past for anybody over 40, about a quarter of the movie was solely devoted to sending up Ingmar Bergman's films. I mean, the character of Death was based on an Ingmar Bergman character. So yes. All right. So all 3 ladies voted for sitting through 8 hours of good, pretentious Swedish art house cinema. Let's see how everybody liked their answers. I'm going to relaunch the poll now. And here we go. Remember, contestant number 1 is Leah. Contestant number 2 is Lori. And contestant number 3 is Lucretia. And it's neck and neck between Leah and Lori. Oh, we got a little bit of love for Lucretia, but it's went back and forth. It's kind of it's a tight fight. Ooh, wow, it's balanced. Going on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Lucretia takes it at the end with 1 vote ahead of everybody else. And I haven't been assigning points. So everybody gets 500 points for that in the prior, because remember, points don't matter. It's just a flair because I wish I was Drew Carey. And Whose Line Is It? It remains one of my favorite shows ever. Okay, now back to the magic die roller here. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Now would be a good time to take a chug of something. And number 14. Oh, all right. we're going back to professional development as a theme. All right. I know it's horrible. That's why we love it. Okay. Ladies, would you rather try and rescue a project that was gold-plated to a ridiculous degree, or a project that runs significantly over schedule? And I'm going to repeat that one more time. Would you rather try and rescue a project that was gold-plated to a ridiculous degree? And for those of you who don't know, gold-plated means you're adding stuff and it's scope expansion to a ridiculous scope creep, or a project that would run significantly over schedule. And since Leah hasn't won anything yet, we're going to start with her. Leah, you have the floor.
Okay. I'm going to go with over schedule.
Ooh, brave choice.
Yeah.
Why?
I think I could hang with it, you know? Things might get interesting. But I think adding more requirements, that sounds more annoying to me. Like you think you're finished and you're not finished. That sounds worse.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, at least with the schedule going, you probably know that you're not finished.
Okay. Having taken on a project that was way over schedule, I like your brazado. That it's a brave move to do it. That's kind of one of the reasons I got to where I am. And there's about 30 angry, screaming Brazilians that I left behind in my past as a result of that. But I made it. So, but that's a story for another day. So, Lori, you're next.
Oh my gosh, I've had some of these failing projects in my lifetime. And if it's gold plated, it's probably also over schedule. And to me, they're one and the same. So I'm going to flip a coin and it's heads. So I go with schedule.
Okay, schedule, got it. And because it's one and the same to you, so it's just no matter what you step in, it still stinks. I like that. Lucretia.
Can you repeat the question, Dan?
Absolutely. Lucretia,
it's so in over my head. It's like not even funny.
Oh, honey, you've been here before. Trust me. We're just
okay. Let's go.
Words.
Let's go.
All right. Would you rather try and rescue a project that was gold-plated to a ridiculous degree, meaning that project sponsors
added
lots more stuff than what was supposed to, and people said, okay, or a project that had run significantly over schedule, like months past?
Okay, so I'm going to prove that I can be a project manager and that I can learn, and I'm going to say that I'm going with Lori's answer as my answer because I have no idea.
Ooh, you're piggybacking. That's brave. That yes, Wendy's applauding.
She has experience and
yes.
Yeah, I'm going to take her lead and just say it's one and the same. I think I've been in those situations, and yeah, I mean, I don't see how the schedule isn't going to have to be moved if you're adding more things. So it makes sense that it's one and the same. So I'm gonna.
Very true. All right, I'm going to relaunch the poll, and the audience gets to say who they like the best. And here we go. Remember, contestant 1 is Leah. Contestant number 2 is Lori. Contestant number 3 is Lucretia. And Lucretia is pulling slightly ahead. Oh, no, it's now neck and neck between Lori and Lucretia. And I'm going to give it another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to end the poll and share it. And Lori, you are continuing your domination. I award you 11,000 points because we're going to just add 3 zeros on. You were just stomping along tonight with exquisite answers. But gold star to Lucretia for piggybacking off of Lori's answer. That is a time-honored project manager tradition. It will serve you well. Okay, and rolling the handy die of doom again. We have already done that question. Oh, we go to 6. Oh. Wow. All right. Okay. We're still staying in professional development for this one. Ladies, would you rather argue with an adherent of agile or with a diehard proponent of waterfall? Ooh, let me read that one again. Would you rather argue with a diehard adherent and evangelist of all things agile, or with a diehard proponent of waterfall? And Lucretia, since you're piggybacking, you get to answer this one because
Okay.
originality counts.
Okay, so here we go. I think I would have a better chance of arguing with, well, first of all, I don't really like arguing, but maybe that's an inherent trait in project managers. I like to really be more of a collaborative worker. And this is part as to why I joined the PMI, is just to really gauge whether this is a good transition job for me. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with the waterfall simply because I understand it more. I feel like I could stand my ground in terms of like trying to convince someone as to why I would want to do something differently. And then, yeah, so I'm going to go with the waterfall person.
Yes, Queen, I totally agree with that. Yes, that is solid. You will make a great project manager. Okay, Lori, you're next.
Well, if I have to argue, I'm going to argue with the person who's the agile evangelist, because if they truly are agile, they're going to shift and move and come my way.
Yuda, you better be squirming in your seat right now, sir. Yeah, I just called out our chapter president, Mr. Safe Dude. Yep. Would you care to comment on that?
Actually, I'm all on board with what Laurie is saying. I mean, that defines the idea of agility, right? Like that, see? So yeah, I'm on board. So
Excellent. All right, Leah, you get to make up lost ground here. You've got both answers here. So what are you going to do? You get to triangulate.
Oh, I'm going to keep going with my gut, even though it keeps being wrong.
You're not wrong. It's never wrong.
And I'm going to say that I would argue with the waterfall person, because I just feel like in interviewing people all the time, everyone is very rah-rah agile. And so maybe there's a better chance of me and the other people arguing they'll get the waterfall person to come over.
I like that. Ooh, yes.
So you're an agile person too? Is that what I'm gathering?
Oh, me?
Yeah, Leah.
Oh, I'm a recruiter. I'm guessing like you are. I'm trying to imagine these situations.
Don't let her fool you, Lucretia. She's got a lot of project management experience, but she's in there with you. She's in there with you. She's your ally. All right, let's see what the audience thinks of everybody's answers. I will relaunch the poll starting now. Remember, contestant 1 is Leah, contestant 2 is Lori, and contestant 3 is Lucretia. And all right, we are seeing strong action here. It is going all over the place. And I'm going to go and end it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to end it. And once again, Lori pulls it out as a squeaker. Lucretia comes in second place, but that's okay, Leah. There is no last here. You're all with us, honey. We're all with us. Leah, I'm giving you 30,000 points just because, damn it, you're sticking in there. That's
Since
right.
we're partners, we're going to put our points together, Leah, and then we're going to take over.
That's right. Okay. Going to the magic die roll because I got 25 questions in 15 minutes till the top of the hour. And so anything goes. We've already done that one, actually. Oh. Okay. I am so going to enjoy the answers to this question. Okay, ladies, we're going to go away, but tangential to project management here, and to something that actually is going to play very well in Leah's ballpark of all things. So we're going to put the spotlight a little on Leah. But ladies, would you rather go to Toastmasters meetings every week for the next 5 years to learn how to present to groups, or go learn how to do stand-up comedy for the next 2 years? Let me read that again. Would you rather go to Toastmaster meetings every week for the next 5 years to learn how to present to groups, or go learn how to do stand-up comedy for the next 2 years? And I'm going to go with Leah again because she's got 30,000 points and she just rocks.
All right. Stand-up comedy all the way. Mrs. Maisel is like, you know.
Oh, yes, the marvelous
inspiring.
Mrs. Maisel rocks. Yes. Oh my God, yes, she kicked ass. Yes. All right. That's all you need to say. Marvelous Miss Maisel. Rachel Brosnahan was just amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, you've converted me to that answer. Lori, a rebuttal or an agreement if you've ever seen that show.
Well, I agree with Leah. You are right on, Leah, because every project manager needs a really good sense of humor, and we need to keep things light and fun. There's a really good book out called The Project Manager Who Smiled. It's really full of funny short stories. So, yep, I'm with Leah on this one. I want to go learn stand-up comedy.
Excellent. And Lucretia, close it out. Make a winning case.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to go with learning comedy simply because I think it's one of the most terrifying things that I would need to learn how to do. And as Lori's saying or educating me, yeah, I really think that having a good sense of humor helps people get ahead in any field. And to diffuse any sort of tension in the room, and you have to know how to deliver those lines. And so, yeah, so I think just learning something that would be more terrifying than public speaking would be, you know, actually trying to tell a joke, which I don't think I would be very successful at on my own. So.
Oh, I think you can get there easily. That's a solid, respectable answer. Okay, let's see what our audience thinks. I'm going to relaunch the poll starting now. All right, remember, Leah is contestant number 1, Lori is contestant number 2, and Lucretia is contestant number 3. And
so as they vote, I just want to make an observation that I think Dan is secretly going to the comedy club thingy. Because
I will have you know I have not left my house in the last 2 years because I like not being sick. I haven't had a head of a chest cold in 2 years. I mean, like all this, I mean, this is a lot of big, this produces a lot of spot, and to not have to do that for the last 2 years, I'm really grateful. So 3, 2, 1, end poll, share results, and Leah gets on the board with a win for the first time. Yay! Yes, Lori comes in number 2, but Leah knocked it out of the park with that answer. Oh, yeah. All right. Continuing on in tangential yet interesting to project management, because project management, it's not just about knowing the work breakdown structure or the schedule or the scope. You got to do a lot of politics, and you got to have that human touch, and that human touch means you have to know life and experience life and be willing to get a little dirty. And I just rolled this up. Ladies, would you rather give up bathing for a month or give up the internet for a month? Oh, yes.
Oh, this is easy for
Would
me.
you rather give up bathing for a month or give up the internet for a month?
I'm giving up the internet. I've lived in some very water limited parts of the world where we literally got we received water once a month, and I can tell you it is very challenging to keep yourself hygienic when you can't bathe. I mean, it's just so hard.
So I can curiosity, where was that?
It's in a region of northeastern Brazil referred to as the Sertão, which is like the large desert in the state of Recife.
Now, is that the place where they have the dunes on the edge of the sea that when the rainstorms come over, all of a sudden they get those brilliant blue pools of water in the sand dunes, and it just...
Yeah, that can happen there, yeah.
Okay, I was curious about that.
How did you even know that, Dan?
He reads.
My mind is just a great big sink trap of information. Not all of it useful, but most of it entertaining. That's all right. Great answer, Lucretia. I'm going to go with Lori next.
Oh, I would give up the internet over bathing just because I'm a really social person and I want to get out and be around people. And I'm safe because I've got 3 shots in my arm. And
just mine today.
Yeah, yeah, you don't want to be around me if I haven't bathed in a month. So I'm going with the internet. I'm giving it up.
All right, Leah, which way you rolling?
And
Internet or bathing? Which one are you giving
I
up?
have so many questions in order to answer it. Like, are baby wipes allowed?
Yes.
Do I get
Baby wipes
fired?
are allowed. When I'm saying bathing, no baths, no showers. But baby wipes, that's just wiping down. You're allowed to do baby wipes.
I'd give up the internet. I think, but then I would have to like walk door to door to try to pre-screen people. I don't know how this would go for my job. Can I take like a leave of absence from work? How does this work?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can all take a month off.
Okay,
You can use the internet, right?
I think
You
I
can
can-
use the telephone, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
All
the
right,
people
we're going to
ring?
throw it to the audience.
Oh, the telephone, right.
Who gave the best answer? I don't think I need to go through 1 through 3 anymore, but come on, folks, tell me who did it. Who gave the best answer? Lucretia with coming from Brazil, Lori with saying, I don't need the internet, and Leah basically saying the same things and asking if baby wipes counts, which it does. I mean, it's not that. And we're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm ending the poll. I'm sharing results, and we have a tie. So 20,543 points because we're going to go with odd to both Leah and Lucretia. We're both going to give you wins on that. But yes, I actually like it. And so just so you know, there's a scene. So Apple and Microsoft both have this lovely high-res photo of sand dunes with vivid blue pools of water in between each sand dune, stretching as far as the eye can see. And when you click on the thing to find out where that's at, that comes from the region that Lucretia was describing, but it's this 50-mile stretch of land near the ocean that's all desert and sand dunes. But when the monsoons come in, they dump all that water and it just sits there in between the sand dunes. It's just this stark contrast that I absolutely love. I dig it. All right, rolling the die of doom yet again. Okay, because we still have 6 minutes to go before the top of the hour and we are having fun. Well, okay. Ladies, would you rather be able to talk to animals or understand the history of everything you've touched? Again, would you rather be able to talk to animals or understand the history of everything you've touched? And we will start with Lori, because you haven't been on the board in a little while. Lori, start us off.
I'm going to go with animals. I want to talk to animals. I am an animal lover. And if I can talk to them, I'm guessing they can talk back. And so I talk to my animals all the time. I live on a small farm and I've got plenty of them, but I want to hear what they want to say to me.
Okay. I like it. Leah, you're next.
I'm going with animals also. I don't know if anyone has seen the videos of Bunny the dog. But
I've heard that, but I'm going to check it out.
Yes, look up Bunny the dog, the talking dog. She has buttons that she presses. She has a Facebook page, I think Instagram, YouTube probably. But you can watch her and her owner talk to each other using the buttons.
Oh, wow.
It's like kind of like talking to a 3-year-old, but it looks pretty great.
Okay. And Lucretia.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree. I love animals. And so it would be really interesting, not only if we could understand them, but what if they spoke their own language from whatever country they're from, right? Like, can you imagine if they had their own like German version or their own, I don't know, Portuguese version, right? It would be so cool, like if they had their own like languages like we do, not just like animal language, but like regional language.
Well, if they're from Brazil, wouldn't they be able to speak German, Italian, and Portuguese?
That would be correct.
Oh, well, okay then. All
Yes,
right.
there are regions, and also Arabic, because there is a region in Brazil that was settled by Lebanese people, and so there's a lot of Arabic spoken there.
I did not know that. Oh my God, I'm going to have to look that up after this is
Yeah,
over.
but they're not official languages; they're just regional languages, right? Like the German section
That's
in the
still
south and whatnot.
amazingly cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to throw it out to our audience to see who had the best answer. And there we go. What do we got? Who had the best answer? Leah, Lori, or Lucretia? And it's kind of going neck and neck right now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, a lot of history there too, Gianthi. Oh yes, I really want to go back to South America. I've only set foot on it once, and that was in Cartagena for a day on a cruise ship, which I do not regret. But I will say buying emeralds there is overrated, and nothing at all like Romancing the Stone. Sadly, nothing at all like it. All right, and
That's
5,
funny.
4, 3, 2, 1, and I had gone there on a cruise and through the Panama Canal back in 2019, which if anybody ever gets a chance to do it, do it. It is the best 3 weeks of your life. You will not regret it. Okay, and Lucretia takes the win here with her answer about Brazil. Okay, and I have rolled the magic die of doom while we were talking, and we're going to get back into project management, and we have 2 to 3 minutes left, so time for 2 more questions. I'll take us a little over. And ladies, would you rather take over leading a project involving civil engineering, yet have no experience in engineering, or take over a project involving accounting software, yet have no experience in accounting? I'll read that again. Would you rather take over a project involving civil engineering, yet have no experience in engineering, or take over a project involving accounting software, yet have no experience in accounting? And now I'm going to throw it to Lori because she is defending her very narrow lead. Lori, what is your answer?
Ooh, well, I'm going with the engineering project because I think I could muddle my way through with some really good engineers on my teams, but accounting and numbers are the farthest thing from me being able to muddle my way through. I'm going with engineers.
Okay. All right, engineers, noted. Leah, a rebuttal possible.
I'm going to go with accounting in the hopes that the folks in accounting can explain things to me well.
Ooh, accounting, sufficiently advanced accounting is just another form, is indistinguishable from magic,
Oh, no.
It really is. That has been my experience. All right, Lucretia.
I think I'm going to go with accounting simply because I have managed budgets before, and I am currently the treasurer for the League of Minority Voters for the state of Washington, and so I have to know something about something, right? So I think I'm going to stick with the numbers.
Okay, so when they start talking journal entries, you're like, damn straight, let's talk about it. Okay. All right. Time to relaunch the poll, see what our audience thinks. All right, who's got the best answer? Leah's number 1, Lori's number 2, Lucretia's number 3. Leah and Lori both. Leah chose accounting, Lori chose engineers, and Lucretia chose accounting because she knows accounting. Oh, okay. This is going to be tight. It's a tight, it's neck and neck right now. So I'm going to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and end the poll. And we have a tie between Leah and Lucretia for their answers. And now it's a 4-way tie. Everybody's got equal wins. So this is going to be the tiebreaker. Yes, this is going to be the tiebreaker. I'm so looking forward to this. All right. The final question of the night before we wrap things up. Ladies. Okay. Would you rather be able to execute earned value management perfectly every single time or win every argument with a project sponsor? I'll read that again. Would you rather be able to execute earned value management perfectly every single time or win every argument with a project sponsor? And I'm going to say, Lori, you start.
Oh my gosh, this is so easy. I want to win. I want to win the argument with my sponsor every single time because that's just pie in the sky dreaming in my book. So that's what I'm going with.
Lori, can you help me understand what execute earned value management means?
Well, I didn't pick that because in all the projects I've managed over the last even 10 years, maybe 15, there's usually a tool to plug in the data that calculates the earned value. The earned value being the effort that the team has put in towards the objectives of the project and the value for that effort earned. I don't know. That's my quick and dirty explanation.
Yeah, being Lucretia, earned value management is essentially what Lori said. It's quantifying effort towards a project, both effort to an end goal and then what the value of said effort is. And the difficulty is that it's deceptively simple, but exceptionally difficult to execute and then justify, which is why I compared it against winning an argument with a sponsor every single time. So Lucretia, you're now on the spot.
Oh, good God, of course. I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say that I would want to have that skill. Like if I knew how to figure out the earned value management perfectly, whatever that is, I think that would be a win if I could do that all the time, right? And that would help convince the project sponsor that I know what I'm doing. And so I'd kind of be feeding two birds with one hand.
That's a great answer. And now I'm going to throw it to Leah to close out. Leah, what is your answer?
I would want to win every argument because I think I could, calculate that number correctly and somehow still lose an argument about that number with the sponsor, So I just want to win every argument.
Understood. And now I'm going to relaunch the poll. And it's the final question of the night. Audience, who wins? Contestant number 1, Leah. Contestant number 2, Lori. Or contestant number 3, Lucretia. Ooh, it's getting tight. There's a lot of flux. It's going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're done. And I will share the results. And Lori is our grand champion of 2021 with the most answers, but she barely squeaked it out. I mean, Leah came back from behind and just dominated. And Lucretia, despite proclaiming that she doesn't know much about project management, yes, you do, Queen. Yes, you do. You will make a great project manager. So congratulations. And that concludes the 2021 game of Would You Rather. And I will turn it over to Mahisa for the last couple slides until I come on again to be your Vanna with the raffle. Mahisa, take it away.
Thanks, Dan. You were a wonderful host. You made us all laugh and we enjoyed it. Okay, here we go. So we at the programs team, again, we welcome all of you guys to join us. We are a fun group of people who like to give back to our community, at the same time learn and build on our skills. So some of the benefits of joining our team is you learn how to plan events and event management. You could learn agile methodologies and practice Kanban. We use tools like Trello, Planner, Zoom, Teams, and SharePoint, so you could get some hands-on experience on those things. And we've had quite a bit of new to project management folks in our event today. So I think it would be a great opportunity for you guys to explore and learn more project management tools. If you're interested, you can contact volunteers at pugetsoundpmi.org, or you could also reach out to programs team at programs@pugetsoundpmi.org.
And don't forget that Dan will teach you how to win argument with project sponsor every time.
Absolutely. We're all pros by now under Dan's guidance. All right. And then apart from our programs portfolio, we do have a lot of other opportunities for volunteering in other portfolios as well. So we have program manager role available in the sponsorship team. We have a business analyst governance role open in the operations team. We have a couple of membership roles for project management mentor and also member liaison. And in the sponsorship, again, we have an opening for a director of business development. If you're interested in volunteering for any of these positions, you could go to pspmi.org for more details, for a detailed job description, and then you could contact us at volunteers@pugetsoundpmi, and we will get back to you. With that, I am going to say sayonara. It was great hosting today, and I enjoyed the event very much. I hope you guys enjoyed too, and I'm looking forward to networking with you guys in our after party. And I will hand it off to Dan now.
Okay. All right. Before we get on to the raffle, which let's all admit it, for $25 gift card from Amazon, I do want to point out that Leah Hollingsworth is a recruiting manager and HR person for Tokusaku, who is one of our approved recruiters for Puget Sound PMI. So if you are looking for a job or just kind of want to look and understand what your possibilities are, reach out to Leah and send her an email or look her up on LinkedIn. She's waving into the camera right now. But please reach out to her if you are interested in a new opportunity or just want to talk to her and say, hey, here's what I can do, what's out there. It's worth your time. So I'm plugging Tokusaku. They've been a wonderful partner for us, and we're looking forward to maintaining that relationship in the future. And so, yeah, I'm raising the roof for Leah real quick. Okay, now all of you see the wheel of names. You understand how the raffle goes. So I'm going to go ahead and run the raffle here. And remember, if I click and your name comes up, you need to put your email address in the chat so I can get it. And please don't log off until I confirm that I have gotten your email address. And so with that, we're going to click to spin and see what we have. Winner number 1. Gonna be Rebecca Brotman. Yay! Rebecca, put your email, you can either send it to me directly in the chat or just put it up there, but I need it. Don't you dare leave before sending it. All right, we got that first one. Number 2, and also very quickly, note that Leah just put her contact info for LinkedIn in the chat line. So please, folks, look her up. It's worth having a conversation with her. All right, number 2. Farida Shanasi, yes, you're getting that gift card, Farida. You send me your email and I will get it in there. Farida Shanasi, you have won one as well. All right. Third one. Okay, got it, Rebecca. I see you, and do not log off until I get it, but thank you for putting it in there. All right. Number 3. Yes, Asmita Kapoor, you are the winner. Yes, you get one as well. You've recently joined our team, and damn straight you're going to get a gift card. Put your email in. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'm going to say thank you for attending our 2021 annual holiday event. I will also let you guys know that given everything going on with COVID and the Omicron variant, news is from the big study coming out of South Africa that Omicron is less toxic to us, but a lot more infectious, especially, and it tends to bypass your vaccines, but get your vaccines anyways, because it definitely mediates the effects and helps you avoid it. I always encourage that. Due to all that, I'm going to look at starting live events again in May and in June, especially for our annual chapter business meetings. So please stick with us. I'm thinking February through April will be virtual events, but May and June, I'm looking to go live, and we will release more information about that in our February keynote event. Until then, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and feel free to stay around for the after party. And above all, enjoy yourselves and have a good night.